Welcome to Mentoring Mondays. It's really good to be with you again at the start of another working week. And today I want to look at another really well-known Bible verse. It says, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purposes. And I wonder what that means for us today, that all things work together for good. We can look around and we can see the challenges and we say, how's that going to work? How's this going to work? But in a sense, when it says all things work together for good, it's actually really focusing on God's ability to bring transformation into our situations. I want to tell a story in a moment, which I hope will really fire up your imagination. But just as we're looking at this verse, I want you to see that it actually talks about for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purposes. And I think there are two things there. When we're called according to his purposes, obviously there's an expectation on us to respond, but the fact that God calls us should give us a certain amount of confidence that the one who's called us is faithful and he's going to bring to completion everything that he has on his heart for us. So you can see that the verse fits into that kind of context. I'm called, so all things will work together for good for me, because I know that I'm called according to God's purpose, and so he's going to bring his purpose to fulfillment. But in there it also says, for those who love the Lord. And I've found in my own personal journey that loving the Lord is probably the biggest transformative element that I can bring into my circumstances. That even if the circumstances are tough, if I'm loving the Lord, the transformation work seems to just begin to take place, that somehow things start to turn around. So loving the Lord to me is a real key to see things working together according to his purposes. And I also want to say that it is God who works things together. It's not some kind of chemistry that we're able to conjure up, even whilst we're loving him. He's the one who's doing the work. And the story I want to tell you is this. Many years ago, I was up on the Afghan border. This was at a time when there were lots of refugees into Pakistan from Afghanistan. And I was in one of the refugee communities, and they were beginning to teach trades, traditional trades, to some of the young men. Carpet making, of course, in Afghanistan is a big trade. And I went into this room and there was this huge loom set up there and all the threads were in place, ready for someone to start weaving in the colours. I watched the carpet master who was going to do the training actually dye the wool, and then I saw him sitting there with the young person beside him, teaching him how to weave these intricate patterns. And I thought I'd ask a clever question. I was having to do it through an interpreter, but I said, what happens if the young man makes a mistake in the bottom left-hand corner? Do you have to unpick it all and start again? And he said, no. We know how to balance the pattern. If he makes a mistake in the bottom left-hand corner, I can incorporate that into the design so that actually put something in that top right-hand corner and it balances the thing completely. That was a great illustration to me as to how things can be worked together. And somehow I just found a great encouragement from that when I was looking at this verse. And so do have a look at Romans 8:28 for yourself. Read it again, get it into your thinking. But during the course of this week, let's see just how it works out for each one of us, that all things really do work together for good for those of us who love the Lord and are called according to his purposes. Thanks for watching. If you've been watching on Facebook, hit the like button. If you've been watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Thanks.